Have you ever found yourself questioning the intentions of the people around you? Ever wondered if those you considered close are truly there for you, or are they simply wearing the mask of friendship? As we journey through life, the company we keep significantly influences our happiness, growth, and success. It's crucial, yet sometimes tricky, to distinguish the genuine companions from the pretentious ones. In today's discussion, we will delve into this critical subject, shedding light on the subtle signs that unmask the true nature of fake friends. Through this enlightening exploration, we aim to empower you with the tools needed to cultivate enriching relationships while breaking free from the draining bonds. This is your passport to better connections, healthier relationships, and a more fulfilling life. There's a world of discovery ahead, so let's begin this intriguing journey together. Absolutely. Let's delve into the first step, understanding the nature of trauma. Trauma is often perceived as a dark cloud, a devastating incident or a series of unfortunate events that leaves one feeling broken, lost, and desolate. It's a deeply distressing or disturbing experience that leaves a lasting impact on an individual's mental, emotional, and physical well-being. It's a heavy burden that people carry around, a burden that seems to shape their reality, often causing feelings of helplessness, extreme fear, and anxiety. However, the Stoic philosophy, as taught by Marcus Aurelius, presents a different perspective on trauma and disturbances. Aurelius believed that things do not touch the soul, for they are external and remain immovable. Our inner disturbance comes from our perception and judgment alone. The essence of this principle lies in the understanding that external events are indifferent. They carry no positive or negative weight. It's our perception, our internal judgment, that assigns a meaning to these events and decides whether they are traumatic or not. Understanding this principle is the first step in releasing trauma. It frames our perspective, allowing us to understand that our power lies within us, not in the external event. The traumatic event might be something that happened to us, but it does not define us. The suffering we experience is not a result of the trauma itself, but rather the meaning we attach to it. This knowledge can be incredibly liberating. It reminds us that we hold the power to interpret experiences, including trauma, and attach meanings to them. If we perceive our trauma as an insurmountable barrier that keeps us chained to our past, it will indeed become one. But if we choose to view it as a challenge that brought out our strength and resilience, we can shift from being victims of our trauma to becoming survivors. In conclusion, understanding the nature of trauma is about recognizing that our trauma is a part of our journey, but it doesn't have to be the entire journey. It's about understanding that we have the power and the choice to interpret our experiences and define our reality. This understanding is the first step towards releasing trauma, setting the stage for acceptance, resilience, reflection, and ultimately, healing. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Building on our previous point about understanding the nature of trauma, it's important to progress to the next step. Embrace radical acceptance. Acceptance does not mean that we have to like, agree, or be pleased with the traumatic event or experience. Instead, it means acknowledging the existence of such events as a part of our reality. Marcus Aurelius, the renowned Stoic philosopher, once said, "Reject your sense of injury, and the injury itself disappears." This principle resonates with the idea of radical acceptance. It encourages us to accept our trauma, not as a defining factor of who we are, but as an experience that has happened to us. It is about recognizing its existence without letting it control our lives. Acceptance is a courageous act. It requires us to confront our pain, face our fears, and accept the reality of our situation without trying to change or fix it. It's about acknowledging the hurt, the pain, the betrayal, the fear, and the anger that comes with traumatic experiences. But it's also about understanding that these experiences are a part of our past, not our present or future. They do not define us. Acceptance is about letting go of the resistance we have towards our trauma. Often, we spend so much energy fighting against it, denying it, suppressing it, or trying to make it go away, that we end up giving it more power. But when we accept our trauma, we take away its power over us. We free ourselves from its grip and open up space for healing and growth. Radical acceptance also involves forgiving ourselves. Often, we blame ourselves for the traumatic experiences we've been through. We think about what we could have done differently, how we could have prevented it, or how we could have changed the outcome. This self-blame and guilt only adds to our suffering. Radical acceptance involves forgiving ourselves for what happened, understanding that we did the best we could with the knowledge and resources we had at the time. In conclusion, embracing radical acceptance is a crucial step towards releasing trauma. It allows us to make peace with our past, free ourselves from the chains of our trauma, and create space for healing and growth. As Marcus Aurelius said, the universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Let's choose acceptance, healing, and growth. Building from the foundation of radical acceptance, the next step in this healing journey leads us to the practice of resilience. This concept, deeply interwoven in the teachings of Marcus Aurelius, empowers us to face adversity with courage and strength. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This isn't about ignoring pain or denying the existence of trauma, but about harnessing our inner strength to overcome and grow from it. Resilience, in a psychological context, is essentially our ability to bounce back from adversity. Trauma is undeniably painful and can leave indelible scars on our mental and emotional health. But the essence of resilience lies in navigating through this pain and eventually using it as a catalyst for growth and transformation. Marcus Aurelius, despite being a Roman emperor, faced a life full of adversities and challenges. Yet, he remained steadfast, and his philosophy remained unwavered. He believed that obstacles are not hindrances, but opportunities to move forward. This is a cornerstone of resilience, looking at problems not as insurmountable walls, but as hurdles that we can leap over. To cultivate resilience, we need to nurture a positive view of ourselves and trust in our abilities to solve problems and handle pressure. It is vital that we remain hopeful, knowing that tough times don't last, but tough people do. Furthermore, it's crucial to understand that resilience isn't a trait that only some individuals possess. On the contrary, it involves behaviors, thoughts, and actions that anyone can learn and develop. Cultivating resilience also means reaching out to others. While it's important to develop inner strength, no one is an island. We all need a support network, people who understand us, listen to us, and provide love and companionship during tough times. This network could include friends, family, or mental health professionals. In essence, resilience is about taking our traumas, our deepest wounds and scars, and using them as a launching pad for growth and transformation. It's about shifting our perspective and seeing the obstacles in our path not as roadblocks but as stepping stones to a stronger, more resilient self. Just as the Stoic philosopher, Marcus Aurelius understood, what stands in the way becomes the way. Having embraced the concept of resilience, we now move on to the fourth step on our journey, which is engaging in reflective practice. Marcus Aurelius, in his wisdom, wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." He recognized the power of our thoughts and the importance of self-reflection in shaping our lives and overcoming adversity. Reflective practice entails a conscious effort to think about events, decisions, and actions in both a critical and analytical way. It's about delving deep into our thoughts and emotions, understanding why they occur, and how they influence our reactions to different situations. In the context of trauma, reflective practice can be an incredibly therapeutic tool. It allows us to analyze our traumatic experiences, understand the impact they've had on us, and figure out how to navigate around them or use them as a catalyst for growth. Reflective practice enables us to dissect our thoughts and feelings, providing a form of release that can be very therapeutic. The process of writing can play a significant role in reflective practice. Writing about our experiences, thoughts, and feelings can provide a clear picture of our internal world. It allows us to see patterns, identify triggers, and gain a better understanding of ourselves. Marcus Aurelius himself was known to keep a journal, and his book, Meditations, is a testament to the power of reflective writing. Engaging in reflective practice is not about blaming ourselves or dwelling on the past, but is a way of learning and growing from our experiences. It encourages us to take ownership of our responses and reactions, allowing us to recognize that while we can't change what happened to us, we can control how we respond to it. Reflective practice promotes self-awareness, a crucial aspect of overcoming trauma. By understanding ourselves better, we become more equipped to manage our reactions to triggers, implement coping strategies, and make informed decisions that promote healing and growth. Hence, it's not just about looking back, but also about looking forward. It's about taking the lessons from our past and using them to build a more resilient and positive future. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, look back over the past, with its changing empires that rose and fell, and you can foresee the future, too. As we move forward on this journey, remember to subscribe to stay updated with new insights and strategies for personal development and growth. Your support inspires us to keep providing valuable content. With the power of reflective practice now in our toolkit, we approach our final step on this journey, the practice of loving kindness. Marcus Aurelius, a man of immense wisdom, once said, "What is not good for the beehive cannot be good for the bees." He understood the interconnectedness of all beings and the importance of love and kindness, both towards others and ourselves. Loving kindness, or metta, is an ancient practice that involves cultivating an attitude of benevolence and love towards oneself and others. In the context of trauma, it's about extending compassion and understanding towards ourselves. Often, we can be our own harshest critics, especially when dealing with traumatic experiences. We might blame ourselves, harbor guilt, or hold on to negative feelings. However, Marcus Aurelius teaches us to show the same kindness to ourselves that we would to others. One of the most essential aspects of this practice is self-compassion. Trauma can leave us feeling broken, and it's easy to fall into negative self-talk and self-blame. But remember, it's not your fault. What happened to you was not a result of your actions or shortcomings. By practicing self-compassion, we learn to replace these negative thoughts and feelings with understanding, love, and acceptance. Just as important as self-compassion is the forgiveness of oneself. Holding on to past mistakes or what we perceive to be failings only serves to keep us stuck in our trauma. Forgiveness is not about forgetting or excusing what happened, but about releasing the hold it has over us. Marcus Aurelius said, "Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly." This insight speaks to the power of forgiveness in freeing us to live our lives fully, despite our past. Loving kindness also involves looking after our physical well-being. Taking care of our bodies through healthy eating, regular exercise, and adequate rest is a form of self-love. When we're physically well, we're better equipped to deal with emotional and psychological challenges. In conclusion, remember that healing from trauma is not a linear journey. There may be setbacks, but with each step, you're becoming stronger and more resilient. We end our journey with the wisdom of Marcus Aurelius, who said, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." As we learn to practice loving kindness, we discover that the path to healing is within us. Through this journey, you've taken a brave step toward healing. Remember to subscribe to join us in exploring more pathways to personal growth and psychological resilience. Embrace the journey and the strength that lies within you. While we've discussed some pivotal steps, let's discover another key principle that can further enhance our healing process. Though this step was not in the original list, it naturally follows the previous steps and deepens the essence of Stoicism. Practicing mindfulness and present moment awareness. Marcus Aurelius once penned, "Do not let the future disturb you, for you will arrive there if you follow the road of nature, and it is according to nature that you are sick, and that you are well, have felt the need of help, and have got over it." Such wisdom still resonates today, reminding us to stay anchored in the present moment, not consumed by the past or anxious about the future. Our trauma, much like our past, cannot be changed. It's a part of our history that we must learn to accept. Yet, it's crucial to note that our past does not define our future. Often, we can find ourselves trapped in the cycle of reliving our trauma, getting stuck in past pain, or worrying about the future. This is when mindfulness, the awareness of the present moment, becomes an invaluable tool. Mindfulness invites us to experience life as it unfolds, moment by moment. It's about being fully present in our actions, completely engaged in whatever it is we are doing, not lost in thoughts, worries, or regrets. By practicing mindfulness, we cultivate awareness and acceptance of our thoughts and feelings without judgment. This practice can also help us to detach from our traumatic experiences and view them with a new perspective. Marcus Aurelius was aware of this when he said, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." By focusing our thoughts on the present, we can manage our reactions to stress and anxiety more effectively, leading to a reduction in the power of our traumatic memories over us. To bring mindfulness into our daily life, we can engage in various activities such as mindful breathing, yoga, meditation, or simply taking a quiet walk in nature. It's not about eliminating all thoughts or achieving a state of eternal bliss. Instead, it's about observing our thoughts and feelings without judgment and then letting them go. Nonetheless, practicing mindfulness is not an easy task, especially when dealing with trauma. It requires patience, persistence, and kindness towards ourselves. Remember Marcus Aurelius' words, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." In the context of trauma, our enemy is often our own negative self-narratives and the hold our past can have over us. Our revenge is taking control of our thoughts and choosing to live in the present moment, embracing our healing journey with strength and kindness. In conclusion, remember that healing is a process, and it's okay to take it one step at a time, one day at a time. Marcus Aurelius' wisdom serves as a guiding light on this journey, reminding us of the power of the present moment and the strength that lies within us. Now that we've established the importance of mindfulness and living in the present moment, let's move on to another essential, yet often overlooked step in healing from trauma. Creating and maintaining healthy boundaries. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "How much time he saves who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does or thinks." This statement sheds light on the concept of boundaries, where focus is maintained on one's thoughts, emotions, and actions, rather than being overly concerned with others. Boundaries are limits we set with other people, which indicate what we find acceptable and unacceptable in their behavior towards us. The ability to know our boundaries and to communicate them clearly is a crucial part of healing from trauma and maintaining mental health. Often, trauma can distort our understanding of boundaries. We may become overly guarded, pushing others away to protect ourselves, or we might swing to the opposite extreme, becoming overly reliant on others for emotional support or validation. Both extremes can lead to unhealthy relationships and further emotional distress. Here's where Stoicism comes to play. Stoicism, as taught by Marcus Aurelius, promotes a deep sense of self-awareness and self-control. It teaches us to focus on what is within our control, our actions, our responses, our perceptions. In setting boundaries, it's essential to focus on what we can control, that is, to clearly communicate our needs and expectations to others. Marcus Aurelius also emphasized the importance of maintaining a balanced view of others and ourselves. He wrote, "Look well into thyself. There is a source of strength which will always spring up if thou wilt always look there." In the context of creating boundaries, this means recognizing our worth and understanding that we have the right to protect our peace, body, time, and energy. Creating healthy boundaries might involve speaking up when someone encroaches on our limits, saying no when something doesn't feel right, or deciding to spend less time with people who drain our energy. It's a process that takes courage, honesty, and self-awareness. As we develop healthier boundaries, we also create space for healing, growth, and more fulfilling relationships. Remember, setting boundaries is not about being selfish, it's about self-care. And self-care is not just essential for healing from trauma. It's crucial for maintaining overall mental health and well-being. Moving towards a life of healing from trauma, let Marcus Aurelius' wisdom guide us. Let's remember to focus on the present, practice kindness towards ourselves, and create and maintain healthy boundaries. These steps, though challenging, can ultimately lead us towards a more balanced and meaningful life.